Hello, welcome back. On RealCopStoriesVideos.com, we have 359 in stories, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes depending on content. Bikes, narcotics, gangs, a lot of lewd acts in there, a lot of gross alerts. Look them up, you'll enjoy them all. In addition to that, we're pushing 180 questions and answers now. So ask me a question and I'll answer to you directly, and then we're doing it now on video. So you ask me a question, email me at rsbcopstories@gmail.com and I'll answer your question. The last question, or the one that we're going right now, is still ongoing, is have you dealt with other agencies? Well, 35 years, you betcha, okay? I have on here a couple, 3 on a highway patrol, California Highway Patrol. Let me get a side note here. I almost became one, real close when I came back to Vietnam. I wanted to stay down south, so that was one of the things I didn't want to go. And then they have a live-in dormitory up in Sacramento where you stay there for 4 months. Nah, I'm not into that kind of thing. I did that when I was in the service, sitting in barracks with a bunch of people. And also I realized when I talked to some locals that they don't do a lot in law enforcement. You might think on TV, oh great, no, they're really, the running joke on our department was that they're AAA with a gun. You know, that's terrible to say that, but they handle traffic accidents, okay? Their primary goal, seriously, I'm not going to say what their directives are, their official manual, but it's basically traffic control, which involves tickets, drunk drivers, and accidents, okay? They don't handle bank robberies, they don't handle juvenile arrests, they don't handle all that stuff unless they have to. They usually defer that to the local agencies. Most of the time, as a patrolman, they pull somebody over. About half the time, they pull off the freeway, and that becomes part of the jurisdiction of whatever city they're in. And that'll come a little bit later when I go to the next part of this. So just so you know what we think they are, they're good guys. Don't be wrong. They're officers, but they're fixated on certain things. You know. Another side note, like DMV. You know, all this investigation, they should do something. No, DMV collects money. That's all they do. They don't have any interest in enforcement. They have an enforcement arm, but pretty much, so these guys, tickets, drunk drivers, and accidents. That's all they pretty much do. Okay, so, now back online here. Okay, so I was working narcotics surveillance, and we were one of the squads that got called out a lot to help other squads, because we all have to help each other. We don't have thousands of narcs. People think we have thousands of narcs. No, you usually have maybe 7 to 10 per division. We have 20 divisions now, so that's what, 200 plus supervisors. So maybe 350 to 400 narcs for 10,000 cops and 2.5 to 3 million people, whatever. That's a very small percentage. Usually the smallest percentage in the country. Our officers are the smallest percentage in the country, considering the size of the city. We are the least. People talk about. On a side note again, there are cops everywhere. Well, there's cops everywhere in Chicago, New York, and Philly. They're all on every block. New York has 30,000 cops. We have barely 10,000. Bigger city, yeah, I'll grant you, but I don't know, we're number 2 in size. So anyway, so we have narcs in there. So we have, and that's bottom line is when somebody needs help, they call other squads to help them. Okay, they want manpower, person power. So one night I'm here. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm home in bed. My jammy's on. Phone rings. Okay. And a narcotic unit needs help in Fresno. They're following some chemicals. There's a lab that they're building up there. The chemicals are coming from Los Angeles and transported up there, and it's all kinds of stuff. So they need help. They need people. So I said, well, give me the off ramp. I'm in the car. Okay, so they gave me the off ramp somewhere in Fresno. I have no idea what the off ramp was. Off the 101, 99, 101, I think it's called. Yeah. Anyway, so I get in my car. Now it's 3:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and weeknight. Hardly anybody out. So I live south of Los Angeles, so I'm flying through L.A. Get up there, hit up Grapevine. And I got a Thunderbird, nice one, 2-door. I'm doing about 95, man. I mean, I'm moving. I'm moving the scooting, man. I got my frequency on my radios, listening for other units, because there's about 10 of us that are responding to this 12-person squad, so we can set up surveillance and 10 guys on, 10 guys off, because it's going to be a 3 or 4 day operation, because they have to cook the chemicals to make the lab. And once they felt that it's being cooked, then we'll raid the place. Okay, so it takes time to do this. So the experts know that once they arrive with the chemicals, they kind of figure out how long it's going to take before they cook. Not going to waste any time sitting around with the product. As soon as they get the product to cook, they're going to cook. I don't think about meth or anything like that. I don't know. I'm just telling you, this is generally what happens. Okay, so I'm moving. Okay, so I get up there by, I don't know if you know the area, you're from all over the country, but you get up there in the mountains up there, going over the pass, and I told you I'm doing 90, and all of a sudden I look in the mirror, here comes a highway patrolman, and if I'm doing 90, he's got to be doing over 100 to catch me. Okay, and I told you before, if you're doing 65 miles an hour and cops have to overtake you while you're following someone, how fast do they have to go? How long is it going to take if they do 80 or 90? Just do the math here. So He must have been doing over 100. I know he was, because I was scooting along at 90 miles an hour, man. He just listened to the music and, so he lights me up. Oh, okay, so I pull over. Now it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, still dark. Pull over, I turn the dome light on, I put my hands out the window, okay, because many years ago when I made a stop on a minority group of people, I asked him why he did that, and he told me, officer, I don't want to be no MF accident, okay? Don't want to get shot, in other words, okay? So I do the same thing. Okay, so he walks up on this side, two guys, on this side, they put their heads in, and they go, why are you doing that? And so I told him, I'm a police officer, I'm carrying a Glock on my hip, there's a police radios, I don't want to reach for anything, and well, let's see some ID. Okay, I go, okay, it's right here, okay, where my Glock is, okay, they go, okay, just do everything slowly, okay. I said, I'm having this, are you sure? Because I don't know what kind of level I have as an officer covering me. He could be like, when I was a rookie, he's one of these like Don Knotts in the old movies where the shakiest gun in the West, he's doing one of these capers, I'm an old guy, this old movie. Like, okay, so I lift up the shirt so you can see the gun, and then I reach down and pull out my wallet, and here you go, and I hand it to you, okay. So you can hear my radio squawking. You can't hear what's going on, but you hear like almost like a ham radio, something's going on there. And our radio's not they don't have a lot of length when they're going from car to car, maybe a mile, okay, half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, mostly for surveillance stuff. So he goes, what's going on? I said, well, we got a call. I told what I told you. I said, oh, I'm really sorry. And I don't deny anything. I said, I'm really sorry. I'm probably doing about 90. He goes, yeah. I said, well, I'm agreeing with him. Thanks, Mr. Captain Obvious, I said, I'm really sorry. I got to go. They called us out. Okay. And I go, and then he goes, okay. And I said, oh, by the way, there's going to be other guys coming through here because we got a call out from L.A. and other guys are coming. And didn't finish that sentence. There goes one of my partners. He goes, is that one of them? Yeah, that's one of them. Is that a Mustang Brown? He goes, yeah, that's one of us. He goes, he shakes his head. Remember now, they're not in narcotic enforcement. Let me make sure I clear this. If they stop a car for drunk driving or whatever reason, they have a right to go into the car. They smell pot or whatever, and they discover narcotics and whatnot and guns. Okay, fine, that's police work. But their function is not that. They're not focused on that. Drunk drivers, traffic, and tickets, okay? So they get arrested with narco in a car. It's a bonus. So we're just crazy narcs, man. Really. He goes, okay, well, be careful while we're trying to, but I'm like, let's go. I got things to do. I got guys waiting for us. They've been up there all night following these guys, So anyway, okay. I said, yeah, watch out. And I swear, we were there maybe 3 or 4 minutes after the first car went by. Here comes another one. Woo, not as fast because it's a big pickup truck because it was a pickup truck that has a lot of additional equipment in it. Surveillance equipment, radios, cameras, tripods. It was kind of like their little supply truck, and they have one already there, but they had to call for another one because they're going to set up all kinds of stuff. I go, is that him? Is it a blue truck with a camera shell? He goes, yeah, that's one of us. He goes, oh, how many of these are going to come through? I said, I don't know. Just be aware that anybody coming through about 90 miles an hour is probably not your normal violator. He goes, well, that's great. I go, I'm sorry. He goes, okay, get out of here. Okay, so I took off. Okay, that was pretty cool. Okay, so that's one little story. I only have plenty of time to cover them at the Highway Patrol. Here's another one. 9/11 hit. Okay. And obviously one of the big targets is Los Angeles International Airport. So I think it's it wasn't most like the third, no, it was the second day. The second day it happened. The first day we went on, 12-hour shift. Next day I'm working the day shift, 6 in the morning till 6 at night. And we get a call like at 3 in the morning. We need your squad. We had a 10-person squad. At north of the airport, they have a possible target. They're following this guy. You got to back them up. So I roll out of here at 5 in the morning. Again, I'm about 35 miles or 40 miles south of LAX. So I'm cooking. 4 o'clock in the morning. Sure enough, I'm going down one of the freeways. It lights me up. Okay, Highway Patrol. Okay, so I pull over. And again, I'm one of the squad leaders, so I'm concerned about getting there with my people. I want to start directing them and everything else. At that time, we had an incompetent lieutenant, so I got to make sure I get there before he does, because he's going to start giving orders that aren't going to be valid because he's an idiot. So a lot of moving parts here. So I pull over. 2 guys walk up again. I got to do the same thing. Hands out the window. What's going on? I'm telling who I am. Oh, okay. He goes, well, why are you going so fast? I go, well, I told him, like I told you. I said, we have an emergency at the airport. We're following some suspects. And he goes, yeah, but you shouldn't be going that fast. And now I unzip my fly. Okay. Normally I'm very nice to these guys because we're all policemen. But I looked at him, I said, we had 9/11 just happen. Aren't you focused on that? You don't care about that? And I'm already on him, man. And older guy with a young guy. And they both kind of went back on their heels. They didn't expect that kind of, thing. And I go, we got a national disaster here. You worried about a ticket? Can you imagine me saying that to this guy? And he goes, well, you're going to have to slow down. I says, I'm not going to slow down. He goes, so you either write me a ticket or let me go. And I'm going to call my captain, and we're going to fix this between captains. Well, that did it, man. That did it. He kind of went, uh-oh. You know, like, remember now, in law enforcement circles, supervisors, it's only a ticket. It's the lowest thing you can give someone. There's anything lower. It's felonies, misdemeanor, higher grade misdemeanors, and then there's, you know, petty theft and kick you in the shins, and all the way down to the lowest you can get, which is a ticket. It doesn't mean anything, okay? So the younger guy said, well, and then the older guy, he figured it out. He goes, oh, that's okay. He said, just go ahead and go. I said, you're going to have other guys coming through here, probably my squad. He goes, okay, well, okay. And he looked at his younger guy. He goes, why don't you just go back to your car, okay? The younger partner. So he walks away, and I look at the old guy. I go, I'm sorry, man. He goes, I'm sorry, too. He says, believe me, we're aware of this. I said, we're trying to help out. I said, but, you know, the guy, I forgot to tell you, the younger guy was the one that kind of got froggy. He says, but he's just young. I said, well, you got to teach him that, you know, not everything's black and white out here. He goes, yeah, I'm trying to tell him that, because you can see he's a trained officer trying to teach what I did also earlier. Teach your kid that the only thing black and white in law enforcement is that dang police car. Everything's gray. Everything's open for tweaking and alterations and alternatives. It's nothing black and white. Okay, so see, we kind of mutually just respected each other, that we each have things to do, and I thanked him, and off I went. Okay, so that's another highway patrol, patrol caper. Okay, and then last one. How much time do I have? Plenty of time. Okay, the last one on highway patrol. There's more, but I can't remember them. If I remember them, I'll do them. Again, now, this is why I said they're not into law enforcement necessarily. I'm working around SC, and I'm a trained officer now. I'm a community officer. I'm a trained officer. Got a recruit with me. And I worked a lot of juveniles when I worked East LA, where we printed our own juveniles, finger photographed. We had no jail, so we did it all ourselves. Now I'm working the division where they have a jail. So you bring in juveniles, they do everything. That's kind of cool. But anyway, so I have a knowledge of this. Get a call, hire patrol, meet you at Exposition in the freeway. Well, remember where they pulled the car off the freeway, and they made a stop. And they had like 3 juveniles in this car with marijuana and a gun. I mean, so we met them there. And they apparently called their dispatch and said, we're overwhelmed here. And I'll give them credit, they did do that. So I get out, walk up, and as soon as they saw my stripes, man, they came right over to me. They got this. I go, okay, fine. I said, okay, well, we'll take care of it. If you guys don't mind, can you come to the station just as witnesses and transport these bodies? And we'll take the car in and we'll do the whole thing. It's no big deal. Man, these guys they were going to give me their firstborn, man. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Oh, because you can see they don't do this. First, they don't do it regularly, and definitely don't do it with juveniles, because that's a whole different thing. You got to call their parents, you got to do all kinds of dispositions, all kinds of stuff when there's a juvenile. Very complicated. You know, if you know it ain't complicated. You know, I haven't. You know, so it was a good thing for me to do it, because I have my probationer is going to do most of it under my direction, so he can learn how to do this. So we took them in there, and they were all happy, and they showed up, and next thing I know, here comes their supervisor walks in, talking to my really neat supervisor I had, and they're talking, and you know, I got their statements, and they're getting ready to leave, and he comes over, boy, thank you guys, this is really neat, nobody ever cooperates this much. I said, well, we should cooperate with each other, come on. I need you guys sometime. You never know. How funny, about 10 years later, they pulled me off the freeway, but anyway, beside the point. But, so it was neat. That was neat in the sense that we need to work together, and also I had to show my rookie that these hired patrolmen, again, they only do certain things. They don't do a lot of, they'll do them. Don't get me wrong, there's officers that'll do it, but man, they'd rather be out there going down the freeway at 100 miles an hour and chasing drunk drivers. That's fine. That's fine. Get them out of the way so they'll kill me or you. So those are my 3 stories. I'm almost out of time here, so hope you enjoyed them, and that's Highway Patrol. If I learn to think about more of them, I'll tell you, man, I'm an old guy, and I'm out of law enforcement for a while, and I'll be watching TV, and all of a sudden I'll get one of my stories, I'll pop into this big head of mine, and I'll come up with it later. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.